Okay, welcome. This is my first take. I'm new to school, so bear with me. I'm sure this is my first welcome video. I'm sure there'll be more, but I'm just going to play it straight. So my name's Master Craig Brown, and I want to welcome you to this community, Maximizing Performance, which is aimed at parents of competitive athletes, in particularly Taekwondo and combat sports, but a lot of the stuff that we will discuss and share will be applicable to, a multitude of sports. And this is for parents who care deeply and want to support their children well. And I know parents sometimes worry about saying or doing the wrong thing. They might want to get involved, but they're concerned of, am I going to do more harm than good? So sometimes parents just, maybe just don't know what to do. Obviously, coaches focus on the mat, whereas parents have to handle everything around it. And that's a big part of the reason why I wanted to create this community is I understand that parents have to deal with a lot of the fallout, a lot of the things that doesn't happen on the mat. I mean, they may be training, several times a week, a couple of hours a day, maybe if they're really, really into it, and not all athletes are. But even if they're only training like once or twice a week, it doesn't change the fact that the fallout from a competition and the emotion, disappointments, the logistics, the pressure, it's still a lot that parents have to carry, and yeah, I know that parents you ain't always equipped, to handle that. You might feel ill-equipped. There isn't a lot of guidance out there for parents. So that's a big part of another reason why I wanted to create this group. Parents deal with car rides home from competitions. They deal with the emotions, when the disappointment, when it hits and the kids don't know how to handle it. And you're right, how do I support my child in this way? And the expectations that they have, in regards to they really wanted to do well and it just didn't work out, and there's also, especially with combat sports, you have dealing with weight management, I mean, obviously when they're younger, hopefully that is something that they don't have to deal with so much. But as they get into their later teens, you start to think about that because you want to make sure, I mean, there's the safety aspect of, okay, well, my kids shouldn't be really cutting too much. They're young, they're still growing, but there's also the safety aspect of what if they're coming in at the bottom of their weight? What if their weight starts at 100 and, 135 pounds and they naturally weigh 138, and there's a 10 to 15 pound window. The safest bet might be for them to lose the 3 pounds so that they come in at the top of their weight, you know, especially if other kids are cutting weight as well from the weight above. They could be fighting someone who's like 8 to 10 pounds heavier than them, So these are difficult conversations that parents aren't always equipped to handle. And that's a big part of the reason, like I said, why I created this group. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a former Olympic athlete. I competed for Team GB Great Britain for like 13 years. I went to the Olympics in 2004. I then started competing for Team Jamaica when I moved to the US. And so I did that for another 4 years. I was involved in 4 Olympic cycles. I competed in one. I was an alternate for one, and I also helped other athletes prepare for theirs as a training partner. And since then, I've been a coach, a program director. Currently, I own Impact Taekwondo, Positive Impact Taekwondo. It's based in Milton, Massachusetts. I have a background in emotional intelligence. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. And I also have been an adjustment counselor as well. So I've been working with kids in middle school and high school. So I've worked with kids in many different capacities. I've been the athlete, I'm the coach, and now I'm looking to mentor parents and athletes as well. So this community is a support space for parents, a place where parents can ask questions openly, a place to learn how to help without doing harm, a place to understand the emotional and mental side of performance. And I'm also going to create and provide some tools and educational materials that you can actually do with your child, which will facilitate their development. So this community is not about, this is not about coaching your child directly. It's not telling you what to say in every situation. And it's definitely not replacing your child's coach or your child's school. And it's not about creating pressure or obsession with winning. This is not to interfere with school or coaching. It's more to facilitate and to walk alongside parents, and provide something that isn't really available as of now. So how do you use this community? You can introduce yourself and your athlete, engage in discussion threads, join the live QAs that we will be holding once a month when you can. Ask real questions, and there are no bad ones here. I assure you, if you have that question, there are many other parents that have the same one. And take what's useful, leave what's not, and ask questions, because that's how I'll know how to create more content that will answer those and support you in the ways that you need it. My philosophy is very much on long-term development, much more important than short-term results. I know the development athletes of today are the top athletes of tomorrow. And so for me, grassroots is very, very important. And for me, I'm here for every parent that has a child that is doing a combat sport, specifically Taekwondo, and even if it's a sport that's a different sport where these tools, this support can be helpful. So definitely focus on emotional safety plus challenge, which is pushing kids a little bit out of their comfort zone and growth, and helping you to support them in that without interfering. And I know parents play a powerful role, whether you realize it or not. As a parent, your role is vital, very, very important, it's significant, and it makes a real difference. The goal is confident, resilient athletes and healthy families, and parents that feel like you're actually making a difference in supporting your child, your athlete, in being a success. So I'm glad you're here. I'm going to show up consistently as best as I can, as I start to build and develop this program organically with your help. I will be learning alongside you, and I invite you to post your introduction. And once again, I want to thank you again for being here. And once again, my name is Craig Brown, and let's do this together.